Get this show. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Howie. We have another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. I don't know. I feel like we need to talk about the Red Sox first. We needed to, before we start talking about Russ Stevens and his prediction, that's the elephant in the room. We're going to talk about the Red Sox, and then please stay tuned for what is it? It's
now I'm a little confused, Scotty. Last week we spent a half an hour, 50% of the show on the Red Sox. They're not even playing. The Bruins and the Celtics are both in first place, and we spent the whole day talking about.
We can't judge the off season until the off season is over.
What do you want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about?
Let's talk about the Red Sox. Go ahead.
Right, the Red Sox.
You obviously want to talk Sox.
The Red Sox. Look, would we agree? 365 days a year. They're the most interesting of the four sports teams to discuss.
For good or for bad. It's easy to talk about baseball. Baseball is easy to talk about.
Right. Yeah. So we're starting with the Red Sox because I feel like this is the most glaring problem that we have right now is that the Boston Red Sox, who have the highest ticket prices in baseball, who have literally are running stuff at their Fenway Park 24/7, 365 days a year, have spent literally $1 million on free agents in this year. Russ, tell me, what's the Red Sox plan?
I think the Red Sox plan is to try to buy one more year, and until these, phenom talents can make it to the majors. That's kind of what it's feeling like right now. I just don't see any sort of real aggressiveness to just do the minimum necessary. And look, if they bid $300 million on Yamamoto, good for them, but they got to reel him in.
Right.
So they have to be the highest. They have to get it.
Timmy, nobody cares if they say they bid 340 and the high bid was 360. We'll get, darn it. We'll get him next time. Nobody gives a care.
No. I mean, we're tired of hearing it, Scotty. We've been hearing it for how long now? Oh, we really wanted him. We tried. Hand grenades and horseshoes, right? I mean, yeah. It doesn't. It's the boy that cried wolf. We don't believe you anymore.
Joe, we wanted to get Manny Ramirez. We signed him. We wanted to get David Price. We signed him. Carl Crawford, Hanley Ramirez, Pablo Sandoval, good or bad. We went out and we got these guys. And these guys were some of the top free agents of those years.
But now they're not trying hard enough. They're just trying enough to just keep their hand in. Hey, if it falls their way, it falls their way. I don't see pictures of Yamamoto in Red Sox uniforms. I see lots of pictures of him wearing Yankee uniforms.
Yeah, look,
he's already visited twice with them, and he's not even going to come here. He's already said he's not coming here.
Yeah, he was a few.
He came out and said he's not. Like the Red Sox aren't.
No, his visits are San Francisco, L.A., and New York.
Yeah, well, he went to New York already. He's not coming back. He's not coming back.
He will talk with, or his agent will talk with the Red Sox, but he's just not visiting.
Oh my God!
We couldn't make that little puddle jump from New York to Logan.
No, I'm telling you guys. You think you're angry if Yamamoto signs with, say, the Yankees, Mets, or the Dodgers? If he signs with the Phillies, who are just coming in late to the game, and they're not even part of the rumors. He didn't visit Philadelphia. Russ, if all of a sudden Dombrowski can pull the rug out of all these teams and sign him,
be quite the coup.
Red Sox Nation will be livid.
Now, if you were the Red Sox, would you go to that agent and say, whatever anybody offers you, we'll give you 8% more?
Yeah, no, at this point, I think.
Yeah, but they're all saying that, Tim.
No, I just go. I would bowl them over. I don't think their first number has started with a 4.
Look, if you at this point in time, if you're the Red Sox, you don't seem to be much of a free agent destination these days. You have to behave like a mid-market team that wants to get the the girl at the bars. You gotta bowl them over. You've
You gotta
gotta
flash some money.
8% more,
Yeah.
Timmy, 25% more. I
You
don't
gotta
know.
buy
Like
that
that's what you
bottle
have
of
to
Dom
do.
Perignon. Yeah, you have to get him. And in the scheme of things, 10 million a year. Come on, man. That's like freaking pocket change to these guys.
Well, no, I
Yeah.
think that's right. I think if all of a sudden you're bidding against yourself, and I think you just start the number and say it's 400. We'll work out the
Yeah.
years and stuff. It's 400 million. All the rest of the teams have been talking 300. Right now, $400 million, but we need an answer. You've got to press
And
an
yeah,
answer.
and what? In 5 years, that'll look like chump change. You know what I mean?
Won't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, look,
It
my
won't matter.
my prediction is they're going to sign, a second or a third starter who they'll try to dress up as a first starter, Montgomery, right?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna start to hear about how great Chris Sale looks in the offseason
Yeah.
and how you can pencil him in. He's like a third starter,
Yeah.
and it's like getting two first starters, in free agency, Jordan Montgomery and Chris Sale. And it is, you can see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah. And Joe, we're stretching out Tanner Houck. We're stretching out Garrett Whitlock. Oh my God, their arms
And
are so
don't forget
stretched.
Cutter Crawford. Don't forget Cutter Crawford.
Yeah.
But
and
remember,
Ryan Mata.
Montgomery was nothing last year until the chips were down. Sort of like David Price never did shit in the regular season, did he? For us, but he
Hey,
did
can we-
come through in 18 in the postseason, and that was Montgomery last year.
Hey, can we go back
After
to
the regular
Russell?
season, and then he came on strong in the playoffs.
Russell, you said phenoms in the farm system. Marcelo
Right.
Mayer. Who else?
Well,
Mayer's
they're- yeah,
actually,
I know, but they'll
Anthony.
always being
Roman
always being
Anthony,
trolled to us.
Yeah.
Roman Anthony, even Nick York, who's very solid. They'll
Field.
dress these guys up and say, well, we didn't want to block any progress from our phenoms in the farm system. So, we didn't want to bring in a second baseman, and we didn't want to bring in a grown-up outfielder.
I know, right? But the one thing,
Last place.
Russ,
Oh, Kyle Teal, the catcher.
Yeah, that's right, I
Timmy,
said
the
Teal,
catcher
yeah.
too.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
he's
okay.
the catchers, they're only real prospect at the moment.
no.
What's
Maybe Anthony, but Mayer, come on. 190
Got
at
injured.
Double-A and injured and didn't
This
play
guy
the
is-
rest
Oh,
of the
those
year.
are fighting words, Joe. Those are fighting
Joe,
words.
he's 21 years old. What are you talking about?
Scotty's going to jump through the Zoom and beat the hell out of
Want me to
about
give you
20
5
seconds.
minutes and so you can trash cases because he was batting 180 in April and you still can't get over it? Just stop it. Mayer's one of the top six in baseball.
Hey, let me
Like,
get the
guy's
violin out.
a
Let me get the
stud.
violin out.
I mean, what are you going to seriously? You're going to throw him out? What are you going to throw him out with the trash at 21 years old? Come on, because
Well,
just
not
stop.
yet, but
No,
come on, Nick York.
No, you don't
Nick
trash.
York is
No,
trash.
no, you don't trash Mayer on this show. I mean, this guy's the starting shortstop for the next 15.
Scotty does that. It is Scotty's show. He does that.
No,
For sure.
you don't. No, it's our show.
Next, you're going to tell me Nick York's going to be a major
No, I
leaguer.
didn't say that. I didn't say that. But we're not talking about.
He'll
Nick York.
never be a major leaguer.
We're not talking about Nick York. We're talking about Marcelo Mayer, and we're talking about rarefied air. So the poor man got hurt. He's not even a man. He's a boy. The boy got hurt. He's going to be just fine. The problem, Russ, and you make a great point. I ask you, where's the prospects for pitching, though? When you talk about coming up in a year or two, there's literally nothing in the pipeline.
Nothing in the pipeline, and nor has there ever really been. It hasn't been for years and years, and that's why they've got to go out. And I've said it all along. Unless they sign 2 top 3 starting pitchers, they're not serious about competing this year. Period.
Yeah.
I'd like to see three starting pitchers brought in, if at all possible, because that's the only way they're going to fix their mess.
But they're not
Then
out
they
there
can
anymore.
start building.
Blake Snell, who we thought was, probably going to come here, is now going to go. I think I heard to the Giants. At the very least, he's going to do a West Coast team. If you don't sign Jordan Montgomery, and these, like the Texas Rangers, will probably have the final say on that. Seeing they just won a World Series with the guy, they'll probably have a chance to match. Wouldn't you agree? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
By the way,
good
breaking
vibes
news
over
on
there,
the
you know what I mean?
Grandstanders. Breaking news in the Grandstanders. The Giants have been told they're out of the bidding for Yamamoto per source familiar with discussions. They push hard, but the expectation is that he'll end up in LA or New York.
See,
There you go.
I'm going to bet he ends up with LA.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll just take him to Manhattan Beach and he'll see as many beautiful women as he's ever seen in his whole life in about 5 minutes.
And they'll stop paying him in 2053.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, he wants to play with Ohtani in Los Angeles. I mean, I wouldn't be heading to Boston, to be honest with you. So
you'll have 747s like on direct route from Japan, just making the back and forth. You know what I mean?
I mean, they were like a rock star group. If all of a sudden you have
They are, but what have they won one World Series since they've started assembling stars?
And no one was watching then either.
The phony World Series,
but they've been competing though, right?
They have.
Oh, yeah.
They have.
Yeah, see, we're not even competing.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Remember, we beat them in that World Series in 18.
We're in last place.
3 out of 4 years.
We're in fucking last place 3 out of 4 years. I mean, come on,
Looks like this year coming up too.
Probably worse than last year. I mean, looking worse than last year. I saw something, who's rising and who's falling, and they had the Red Sox as rising, and they blah blah blah. I couldn't understand how they could possibly
based on what
the Red Sox is
nowhere to go but up, Tim. That's why nowhere to go but up.
You're right.
And look, and the problem is they don't level with us, right? Instead, Werner comes out and talks about going full throttle. If you come out and say, look, here's where we are. We need to rebuild this thing. We're going to bring in, we don't want to, we're going to bring in we want to bring in young pitchers with high ceilings because we have a fleet of prospects coming in and we're going to do our best to balance it. But, we're just not going to go out and sign, veteran pitchers to 10-year contracts. Fine. I might not be happy about it, but at least some level of honesty from this team. Instead, we got Tom Doofus Werner saying we're going to go full throttle, and they're the laughingstocks of Major League Baseball.
They really are. Yeah.
It reminds me of, remember when Wick used to say, oh, there's going to be fireworks back when they were finishing in last every year, and no fireworks ever happened.
Do they always misread the market now?
Yeah, it's what they do. They're experts at that.
Yeah. I mean,
we thought that was Hine. Maybe it wasn't.
Well,
I think it's the entrenched bureaucracy that's been there since these guys bought the place. Every one of those guys, they all have these jobs. Their whole careers are invested in the status quo and not taking any chances. And if you want to have a winner, you got to take some chances.
Yeah. All right. Let's go around the room here. Yamamoto, who does he sign with, Russell?
I think it's actually, I think it's going to be one of the New York teams. I'll say the Yankees.
Yeah. Timmy?
I can see the attraction of the Dodgers. If they're there with the money. I mean, if I'm him, I sign with the Dodgers.
Yeah. Joe?
Oh, I'll go out on a limb and say the Red Sox come out of the woodwork and grab him.
Yeah, oh my God! Joe, I love you. You're the dreamer of all time, and Joe's pretty much had the Patriots winning every week.
It's not going to happen. I've seen so many pictures. It's going to be the Yankees. He's not wearing those Yankee uniforms for no reason.
No, he's going.
Joe, I'll back Joe up a little bit here. They have to sign it. I don't think the rest of the country realizes or reads the desperation right now that the Red Sox are in. I don't know if the Red Sox ownership realizes the desperation they're in with their fan base. But if they're reading the desperation, they have to just go all out to get this guy.
I can't wait for this Sam Kennedy must-watch press conference just to let us know that they didn't get Yamamoto, but they were in 4th place to get him. if
we had a competitive bid in.
Yeah.
And then we're going to find out they were like 30 million less than everybody, like the next one. You know what I mean?
But I hope he signs. I'm tired of all the rumors. I don't know if you guys are. I mean, I'm tired of seeing Yamamoto trending every 5 seconds on Twitter and all these.
Well, he can't sign until the end of the year, right?
No, he has to sign before January 2nd, I think.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think his
time
deadline.
before that.
Look, again, also Los Angeles is 6 hours closer to Japan,
Japan. Yeah.
and that makes a big difference. And he's in Los Angeles right now. Why would he leave?
Much larger Asian demographic there
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
100 times more Japanese people than
But
here.
also less pressure because
Yeah.
you put him in the New York Mets. He's got all the pressure. The light shines on him. He plays in LA. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
He's not
Does he
even
play for the Lakers? Nope.
he's not even he's almost like what he's the top 5 player on the team. He's not even number 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's a nice situation to come into and get paid big bucks. And also again,
if he comes here, the spotlights.
oh my Lord, yeah.
Like it was with Daisuke.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. No, then he didn't come to visit Fenway Park. Though Alex Cora, I don't know. Did you see Alex Cora? I
He
think
seems so confident that he's coming here.
I mean, I don't know. Is Alex Cora drink a lot? I don't know. I don't know what. But did you see that with him?
Yes, I did. And
Yesterday?
he seems unbelievably confident that he's coming here.
He said, "Who said he wasn't at Fenway?"
Yeah.
He said, "He's right. I'm not telling you he wasn't at Fenway." I'm like, okay. What little games are we playing? With he's 8 years old, and also
No, they're all playing games with us, Scotty. And I just think about guys who've look. There's no proof that Yamamoto can handle the bright lights of Boston. I tell you what, there was proof of a guy who could handle the bright lights of Boston was Nathan Eovaldi, right?
Yeah.
Look at how he pitched in the playoffs in the World Series, right?
All season
That guy was on
long, he was
that guy
the
was on
horse.
our team, right?
Yep, right.
Did some legendary things. And this group of nitwits couldn't figure out a way to retain a guy like that.
He was our number one starter. He was our number one starter at 60
How much better
million.
would we feel right now? How much better would we feel right now with Eovaldi as a number 2 starter, and we're only looking to sign a Jordan Montgomery or something?
What did Eovaldi sign for? What did he end up signing for?
16 million a year.
Oh my God!
Ridiculous.
Well,
they should have paid, and Walker signed for not even half that.
Right, but there's a huge difference between Walker and Eovaldi. Eovaldi pitched multiple.
Oh yeah, Eovaldi was a horse,
and in the just next to Kurt Schilling and Pedro Martinez in terms of a courageous postseason outing.
he had 5 wins in the playoffs this year, a record setting. But look, they did. The Rangers had what you wanted, Russ. They had Eovaldi and Montgomery, and they won a World Series.
Yep.
So very possible, right? And you could have stayed under budget. That's all on Heim. That's Heim playing the games that he played, and he lost every time out. And now it's too late.
Well, I'm telling you that all those 20 vice presidents there were probably counseling him. Oh, don't take a chance. Don't do anything. And Breslow's going to run into that same bunch of guys that don't want anything done.
Yeah. I mean,
as long as that park is banged out, John Henry's not going to notice. And they're just going to keep telling him everything's hunky-dory.
They must notice the Nelson numbers must be way down, right?
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah. Whether they
has to have some residual effect financially.
Well, they probably tell him it's because of people are leaving cable.
This is this is as down. I think as. Go ahead.
Yeah, when the Red Sox get hot, they own this town. We've seen it. You know what I mean? It's must-watch TV. And when they're shit in the bed, no one cares.
Would you agree that since 2001, 2002, that this is the worst shape that the Boston Red Sox are in as a franchise?
Well, yes and no. The fact is they do have some pretty high-end prospects. If you just take Teal, Mayer, and Anthony, and don't even include York and some of these other guys.
Yeah.
We just got Casas up. I still think Devers is a hell of a baseball player.
He is, yeah, of course.
Right.
Duran's a good prospect for the future.
Right. So you look at these, they've got young major league level players. That's great. But this thing that Timmy said, where you just keep landing in last place because you're misevaluating the market on veterans, you can do both. Like you can actually do both. You can sign really good veteran players and still have a really good farm system. That's the Dodgers approach. They signed high end players and they have a great farm system.
Yeah.
And they trade a lot of that farm system for proven major league players. They don't bring guys up from their farm. They trade that farm.
Well, they
proven major leagues.
They trade most of it, right?
They take the pick of the litter and they bring those guys up. They don't give those.
Yeah, the Red Sox are their farm system, basically. You know what I mean? We produce them, and then they take them away.
That's the
you give up prospect 8, 3 through 10. Give them away, to get real players.
The Dodgers are good about hyping up prospects they want to get rid of. They're very, very good at that. They hype those guys
Peter
up,
Downs,
and they throw them out. Right, they throw them out the door, and then you never hear from them again. All right, boys, we're gonna start with the bad stuff first. We're gonna start with the New England Patriots. I'm tired of this season because I am really physically tired of rooting against them. I know Joe does not root against him, but Joe,
I can't do it physically.
So you're sitting there realizing that a victory would
be harmful. Yes, I understand that.
But yet you still root for him.
What was the final score last week?
27-17 or something.
All right, so we had Scott 20-17. I was 24-10. Joe, you were 21-13.
I think 24-10 sounds right about almost the score.
But see, this is the thing.
I had 24-10. So what was the final?
Was it
24-10?
Was it 27-10?
27-17?
Yeah.
27-17, I think. Now, the reason is that had we listened to Russell and had we made sure since the beginning of the season that we put Mac Daddy Jones on a pedestal like no other quarterback has been since Tom Brady left. The man who did that was Russell Stevens. He's the man in my box to the left. He said that he was going to have an incredible season. And he, each week during the offseason, argued that, despite pleas, that this was not going to be the case. Russell, how wrong can a person be on a sports show?
Well, I'm just wondering, Scotty, if you could be so wrong that you're right. Meaning, let me run this one by you. Right? Are we better off going into this off season with a crappy record and the second or third pick in the draft, right? Or are we better off being 9-8, 10-7 with a mid-level quarterback?
But he wasn't even a mid-level quarterback.
He wasn't. No. So I'm just wondering if I had a little something to do with the fact that, I reverse jinxed us.
Russell's saying he did us a favor.
He did the George Costanza. He did the Costanza.
I mean, I should take a victory lap.
What did you see in Mac Jones that somehow that is not even has never really?
Well, you were the biggest Mac Jones supporter early on.
Oh no!
Yes,
really?
Yes.
Yes. Oh really?
Yes, you were.
Oh my God!
What? What? You two want to hold hands during this segment?
You were in love with.
Oh my God! Do you want to rub his back so you make sure he's okay? What are you talking about?
You were trimming his bikini line and everything, Scott.
Yeah,
you two at two, Timmy? Seriously?
Scott, you were a huge fan of Mac.
You told me
you wouldn't let us say anything on the show against him.
I don't know. I think we were talking about the weather on the show, and you said, "Hey, guys, why does Russ get a free pass on the whole Mac Jones thing?" You literally said that. I said, "Oh my God, Tim, that's a great."
You are right. Yes. All right. Hey,
next time Russ is on the show.
We'll refocus this to the lower left-hand corner here. Russell, explain yourself.
All I'm saying is, I'm just taking some small measure of credit for reverse jinxing us into the second pick in the draft.
Give us 3 tangible reasons why you thought he was going to be good.
Well, I thought he was going to be good because he was good in year one. I thought he was going to be good because no Matt Patricia, and I thought he was going to be good because of Bill O'Brien. I mean, it was a relatively logical conclusion that went wildly astray.
So it was like me hoping for a car on my 17th birthday.
Yeah.
And then my
Yeah, it
father
was a
"What's that
long
little-
shot.
What's that little
By the way-
package over there?" I went and opened up this little Matchbox car inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, Scotty, do you remember how many wins you predicted for the Patriots?
A 5.
I think he was the best. We picked twice as many.
I said 5.
I was like 9. I was like 9 or 8 or
Yeah.
something like that. I know that.
I think
Good.
Russell and I were up at 10 and 7.
Yeah, I was at 10 and 7. I think Timmy was at 9 or something like that. So we were
That's
all
fine.
thought, yeah, you got done
Well,
with
Scotty, what were you in at 6?
5.
5.
No,
5.
5. He had a very pessimistic outlook.
That's close. You win that one.
I don't.
You know what worried me about Matt going in? That one stat, worst under pressure in the league. That is a horrifying stat to me.
Yeah,
You know.
he retreats instead of stepping up. I'll give Bailey Zappi that. He'll step up in the pocket.
At least Zappi will try to extend the play in some reasonable manner. Matt just folds up like a deck of cards.
No, and to defend Russ for a second, no one could have predicted the fall from grace where he's not even now that we see Bailey Zappi, who's a terrible quarterback, but have some level of success with the team. Jones is not an NFL quarterback.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's broken right now. Could you imagine him in an offensive system with a quarterback coach and they can rebuild him into into the 25th best quarterback in the NFL?
You know what? With today's offensive lines, the defensive lines are killing the offensive lines these days. The way that these edge rushers come in now, you have to have some escapability. You have to, or that sixth sense that Brady had and Manning had to take one step this way or one step that way. And Mac had none of that. None.
The great trick that Mac Jones and his proponents played on us was this idea that he was a really smart quarterback, that he had a brain like a computer. He can make good decisions quickly, sort of like Brady-ish. And that's the thing. Like, his arm is his arm, his mobility is his mobility. But the thing that has been stunning was how many stupid plays that he makes in any given game.
Zappi gets the ball out twice as fast. Twice as fast.
Yeah, and we're talking about Zappi's a borderline NFL quarterback, maybe.
Oh, he's a back. He could be a career backup. Matt could never even be a backup.
I mean, Zappi, you'll get 14, 21 points. You will. Just about every game out of the kid, you know?
Yeah, but
Mac can get like nothing. You get 0. And especially in the second half. For some reason, Mac would just fold it up in the second half and go home.
The fact is, if they really want to
the offense is so simple to me that the defense is just adjust and stifle them in the second half.
Well, if Zappi got injured in the first play of the Broncos game, we literally guarantee 3 more losses the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you play Mac Jones right now, there's not a chance they had of winning any games. Would you agree? I mean,
so what if Zappi got hurt and Mac Jones came back and lit it up for 2 games?
It doesn't matter. They're not going to resign. They're not going to pick up.
It's not going to happen.
Is it an option year this year?
Yeah. They'd have to pick up his 5th year.
You wonder
they have him under contract for a low price next year, and then but they have to make the decision on the 5th year this offseason.
You wonder if he'll land. Will he land anywhere in the NFL?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
they'll trade him for a 7th round.
He'll land with a Shanahan offense somewhere, right? I mean, and somebody will try to, assign a quarterback coach to him and rebuild his confidence in his game and try to get him to a backup / spot starter.
Are we not concentrating enough on how very good the Patriots defense is?
And that's without their best player.
Their 2 best players.
2 best players, Gonzalez and Judon.
I mean, I think the defense has been played.
Although I do have a question about that. Like, how much does sort of the offense play into it? How many teams could just play pretty conservative football against the Patriots because they know the Patriots are never going to score more than 13 points, I don't know.
That's a
I mean,
good
I think
point.
they have a very good defense, but I'm not sure that this defense is, it is championship quality. Let's put it that way.
No, it's not by a long shot,
Yeah.
not even close.
But it really is. It could with Judon and Gonzalez back with just a couple of tweaks and then keeping the guys who are presently on the roster. I think it can be a top 10 defense next year.
Yeah, could be. Now, by the way, they have a lot of free agents. They got a lot of free agents and a
But
lot
all
of
that
money.
all the money has to be spent on the offense.
But all their best players are under contract, like Judon, Gonzalez, Barmore, Keon White. A lot of those guys are tied up. So
Duger's a free agent. They need to sign him.
yeah.
I don't think they're going to sign him.
Why is that?
They got a lot of those defensive back types, and he tends to let those guys go more often than not. His history is to let those guys walk, and that's why they drafted Mapu, I think.
Yeah.
Belichick thinks he can just recreate those guys from out of nothing every year.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for bringing up Belichick. A great segue, Timmy. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Every day is a different rumor. Now the big rumor is that Kraft is going to look to trade Belichick, and he's going to look for the highest bidder. What's Belichick's play? Because Belichick is under contract. He would have to retire. Otherwise, he's property of the New England Patriots.
Well, we're not privy to his contract. He might have a no trade in that contract.
Right.
Or he might have one of those like hockey ones where there's 5 teams you could trade him to, type things.
Yeah.
So Bob Kraft might have no leverage whatsoever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Could Belichick stay as coach and then they hire a GM?
He could. I don't think he would ever agree to that. I cannot imagine a scenario in which he'd agree to that.
You do.
You guys hear this? You guys hear this? That's what I heard all week on the radio. This Belichick's offense is just too complicated for the players these days. Just too. And if you don't have a Tom Brady in there, if you don't, it might be. Well, I mean, he's tried to dumb it down, but just the overall concept of the offense is these guys just can't figure it out.
Really? I've not heard.
I don't buy that.
Yeah, I don't buy that at all. I mean, how can
that's what I heard on the radio. I heard that a couple times on the radio this week.
Well, I tell you something. We were criticizing Belichick for not taking Pickens over Thornton. That Pickens, he's a load like no other. I'm actually I think that's the problem of drafting these wide receivers. They're loose cannons.
Is Pickens the kid? Who's the receiver that made the play where he leaned backwards and put the ball? Was that Pickens?
No, Pickens is the one who doesn't block. He refuses to block, basically.
On 1st and goal from the 1, and he just refuses to block. And then he says, I didn't want to get injured.
He must be one talented SOB if he can get away with doing that.
No, he's already he did something with the Patriots game too, where he all of a sudden just doesn't block at all. He just stands there. This is his rookie season. He's already doing this. This is my
it's his second season.
But this is my This is my fear: is you don't draft a Marvin Harrison because of that. All of a sudden, Marvin's not getting his touches.
There's also plenty of guys that come in and behave themselves for at least a few years. So you got to do your scouting. You got to evaluate these guys in the right way. The Patriots haven't been able to do it, but it's more the on-field stuff than the off-field stuff for the Patriots and the receivers. Good guys who can't play. Right.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Who cares?
We got to go to the predictions.
Yeah, I think they got to use their draft capital for a quarterback. That's pretty obvious.
Oh yeah, well, I assume it's going to be Drake May if they stay in the second spot. You would assume that Williams will go first, May second, and then obviously you got to start working on the offense the rest of the draft, right?
Offensive line, yeah. It's just if every single freaking player they pick is on offense, I'm perfectly happy with that.
Oh.
Yeah, it can't be, and I don't want to hear the word special teams during the draft.
Second round pick.
Well, the 5th round draft pick is always for a special teamer.
Second round picks. The
That's
second
Joe.
round, the
That's
Patriots
assuming
pick,
Belichick's made. We cannot have Belichick be in control of this draft. That would be catastrophic for
Well,
this team.
he's never been in control. There's always it's other people, the scouts and
Oh, but Joe,
the
he
player
makes the
personnel
final
people.
decision.
They run
Makes
the
final
draft.
decision.
Oh yeah, and I bet you he probably has more final say. His final say is probably only over the first round draft pick, but that hasn't been great.
But Joe, you really? I don't believe that. I mean, he's the
Yeah, I
captain
don't
of the
either.
ship. He's the captain
No.
of the ship.
He's the captain of the ship, but he's just listening
he's
to
the-
what these people
Oh,
are
I don't
telling
think
him.
so.
No, Joe. I don't
No.
agree with that.
No,
He
yeah,
doesn't
This
do
guy,
any
he
scout.
this
He's
guy wants
busy coaching a football team most of the
busy.
year.
He should be busy picking players.
Well,
Right?
he's not.
I mean,
That's
right now
someone
he's not
else's
calling,
job.
but whatever, he should be studying players. I mean, that's his job.
No,
Right.
his number one job is to be coach of the team. It's someone else's job to be picking those players. What's his name?
Pat Grow, right?
Yeah, Grove's kid.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what though? He's in charge of hiring Matt Groh. So if you are in charge of hiring someone crappy to do it, then it's your fault.
He only hired Grove because Al Grove used to be his assistant coach.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Yeah, he doesn't.
Well, then
Just
it's
like
Belichick's
James
fault.
Ferentz. James
Well, it's
Ferentz
Belichick's
has
fault.
been on the team for the last 10 years because his father was an assistant coach at Cleveland, same as Nick Saban. All
if you're the captain of the ship and the ship sinks, it's your fault.
yeah.
All right, let's go to the predictions. Joe, Denver.
But very good. Denver
Sunday night
-7.
Christmas Eve game. So there should be fun to root against the Patriots in Denver, which we never play well in Denver. Hopefully that'll be the case this week.
And we've
Denver-
only beaten Russell Wilson once. Brady used to lose to him all the time. Just the Super Bowl was beat him.
Well, hopefully the thin air will get to the Patriots. That's what we're hoping. All right, Joe.
Well, I'm going to go for a good victory for the Broncos, like 33-10.
Oh, okay. That would be nice. That would be a Christmas Eve present.
You wouldn't have to worry about the second half. You could go about your
Yeah.
your Christmas, finishing up all those little tasks.
Yeah. All right. Russell,
17,
write this down to
13,
me.
17.
I'm ready to get down. Go ahead, Russ, sorry.
17-13 loss.
All right.
13.
Wow, you have it close.
Yeah, that's
going-
closer than I would have thought.
I'm going out on a limb here and taking the Patriots to win 20 to 17.
Oh my God. We're gonna have how many texts? How many angry texts are gonna come from the Russell camp? If
We don't want
Timmy
that.
was
That
the
would
one
be
leading
really-
the Zappy chants there at
That
Fox.
would be really bad.
how
not need
angry
to
will
be.
you be? Russell
Really
will be beside himself. He won't.
Yeah.
We have to lose. Now, are we where are we locked in right now if the draft would
Two.
happen today?
Second.
2. We can't go below that, right?
No.
No, we're not going to catch Carolina. I don't think.
Well, they won last week, though, Joe.
Yeah. Could you believe that picture of the second half of the stands?
I know.
It was
I know.
empty.
Was it a downpour? Was it pouring out?
I don't know, but it was 100 people in the crowd.
It looked like the old Cleveland, Indian
municipal
stadium,
stadium, right?
Speaking of the NFL, did someone? I don't know if that was a bogus tweet that came out today, but some NFL owner was, Jeffrey Epstein's
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
customer list. I don't know if that was a bogus tweet.
Yeah,
I think
don't know.
I think it came out from a real heavy hitter in that
Adam Schefter?
category. Adam Schefter.
Well, I know he got hacked. Actually, it might have been something. I think he got hacked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob just goes to massage parlors.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to bet the Broncos win 24-12. I don't even know how you get to
Pick a
12.
funny number.
But yeah, I don't know. Somehow we'll get to 12, maybe 4 field goals. And I just want to mention that field goal kicker, drafting him in the 4th round should be a fireable offense.
Yeah.
When you had Nick Folk too, you had the guy who's the best player on the team the last couple of years. No reason to replace him, and you waste a 4th round pick on not even the best field goal kicker.
Do you know what kind of offensive lineman you can get in the 4th round?
Yeah,
You can get a guy that'll be on that line for 12 years.
yeah,
City soap.
yeah. I mean, look, that Bob Kraft allowed Bill Belichick to continue to shop the groceries is on Bob Kraft. Okay, how many bad drafts does Belichick have to have before you figure it out? So this is not all on Belichick. Bob Kraft got lazy, and at the very least, he kept taking his responsibility.
In Kraft's defense, this is the guy who brought you to 8 Super Bowls. You know, I mean,
I know, but
I don't forget that too easily. You know what I mean?
I know, but it's
about. I agree now. I agree now. The horse is out of the barn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, boys, we're going to go to the Boston Celtics. What a difference 24 hours make. I went to bed when the Celtics were beating Golden State by 17 points. I thought, okay, perfect, easy win, and I sure don't want to be awake if they blow it. And they blow it. Golden State literally has our number.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that was the only game this year that was like last year. The team played like last year, fell apart in the 4th. That last 20 seconds of regulation was just so frustrating. They had like 4 open looks and they couldn't put it home.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like Steph just like goes into, like when he plays against us, he goes into like another universe or something, you know? And they just start falling from everywhere.
He was playing with 5 fouls, for like the whole second half practically.
I definitely think he's more amped up to play the Celtics. And I think, when a guy like him, obviously it's a long season, right? I mean, right?
Yeah, it's national TV. It's a rematch of the finals a couple of years ago. Look, there's one thing, and I don't know if I sent this to you or not, but it's when a team shoots less than 30% from 3 and the other team shoots more than 40% from 3, the team that shoots 40% from 3 wins 90% of the time. 90% of the time. And the Celtics shot 30%, 29.5, and the Warriors shot 40. They lost that game because they didn't hit shots. And they won the game last night because they hit everything.
Yeah.
They live and die with the 3. We've been saying it, right? I mean, live and die.
Yes, although we're living and dying with it less this year, right? But and because we've won a bunch of games where we haven't shot 30% or 33%. It's just that the combination of the Warriors shooting over 40 and us shooting under 30, we had no chance of winning that game.
Yeah.
Look,
and we almost won it.
The Celtics, we do not have to die with that 3 either. You know that? We have the ability to go inside.
Well, it's a high percentage shot when it's
they are going
uncontested.
inside.
Yeah.
They are going inside. They're going inside to when Porzingis plays, they go inside. He didn't play that night.
No.
He didn't.
Yeah, look, they're going to win the champ.
Score around the hoop.
Yeah.
It was pretty good last night, scoring 144 points when your best player isn't even in the game against a quality opponent.
They're going to win the championship if their main guys are healthy. They're not going to win.
Totally agree.
They're not going to win if they don't. Obviously, they would have beaten Golden State. Had Porzingis been in there, they would have beaten Golden State. The Golden State's a real small team. They would have had no answer for Porzingis whatsoever. I mean, even KQ, my guy KQ, had a double, had the day double,
double,
10 rebounds and 10 points.
10 points.
Can you imagine what
he's going to come in handy against Embiid and Giannis? He's the 6 foul guy.
How tall is he?
He's about 7 foot. So the Celtics are 18-3 with Porzingis and 2-3 without him.
Yeah.
Okay? And one of the reasons why they can't score from inside is how many foul shots Al Horford has taken last year and this year combined?
What?
31 foul shots.
He only took 21 all last year.
21 all last year.
He's
not scoring on the inside. So if KP is out, who's going to score? Like, I guess Tatum can, but those guys aren't in the key scorers, right?
No.
Tatum and Brown will drive from the lane from the inside, from the weak side. Yeah. But that's not really. They really they're going 1-on-3 when they do it. So it's really
Exactly.
a tough finish. It's
Exactly.
better off when you got a guy that's a foot taller than them
Well,
taking
there's
that shot.
a lot of talk in the last few days that Derek White is the MVP up to this point for this season. You think that's crazy talk?
I think it's recency bias. I mean, he's played so
Yeah.
well recently. I think he's playing at an all-star level, but I don't know. I don't know that I would say he's the MVP. But he's in the conversation,
He's
right?
playing with a lot of confidence. He looks so
Sure.
confident
Like
out.
the game's on the line right now. Is it White you want taking the shot?
Whoa.
From
He
three,
missed two
from
wide
three,
open
yeah.
threes the other night against Golden State.
It's only one other guy I'd want taking that shot, and that's Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, not Sam Hauser.
Oh,
I
Peyton
mean,
Pritchard. Oh my God.
He squared.
You're gonna die in
Since
the
they
vine
moved
again.
him to the strong side, he's been a solid player. When they took him off point guard, he doesn't run the pick and roll good. That's not his game. Put him over on the strong side, and he's a great player.
Oh my. Hey, Pritchard's a great player. What, you lost your mind? Oh my God. We were just
For
talking.
the eighth man in the rotation to have a guy like that.
He's useless in the playoffs, guys. Useless.
no, that's
Wait a minute.
that's
His
actually not
defense has
true.
been 100% better this year.
He played in the playoffs when we went to the finals, and he played quite well in the playoffs when we went to the finals. That's
He had a
Chuck,
bad
He got
year
eaten
last
alive
year. He had
against
a
Golden
great. He
State.
had a very starting 2 years ago. He had a very good playoffs.
No,
Last
Yeah.
year he did
maybe
not have
against
a very good
Milwaukee, but
playoffs.
he got eaten
No,
alive
his-
against Golden
yeah.
State. They couldn't even put him out there.
Yeah.
They
But Jimmy Butler picks on him. Yes.
They
Sure,
hunted.
Jimmy Butler in the playoffs can beat anyone.
Look, he's shooting 40% from three, and he's playing tough defense. I agree. He's the eighth, Scotty, I'm in all seriousness. You don't want him playing 25 minutes in a playoff game, but you send him in for 12, 15 minutes and he hits 3 threes. That's a valuable player.
We want a
Okay,
guy
just-
who when left open, drains the three. That's
right.
what we want.
Okay, again, as we know, regular season and playoff season are completely two different sports in the
All right,
NBA.
Scotty, let's reduce it to this. Is he the guy left open you want taking the three? Like, because that's what it comes down to. They're gonna double Tatum, blah blah blah. They're gonna do all this stuff, and they're gonna leave him unattended.
Oh, that's exactly what they want.
Do you trust?
His
do you trust him
defense
to be
is
the
so
guy to
much
knock it
better
down?
when he's playing on the
I
strong
do not
side and
trust-
not playing on the ball.
No, I mean, we just decided he's the eighth best player on the team. I don't trust the eighth best player on the team to take any shot that would decide a big game. No,
Okay, would you rather him or Hauser taking that shot?
Hauser, absolutely.
Yeah, I would rather, but just to be clear, I would rather have Hauser taking a shot. I'm joking about the guy I want taking the final shot. I would want White to take a final jump shot,
Yeah,
right, from
me too,
three. If
yeah.
we had to make a three late, I would want White to take it for sure. I think Brown has been fantastic in the last 5, 6, 7 games. And he took 2 shots in the fourth quarter against Golden State. That's wrong. That's not, we need him. He needs to take more shots in the fourth quarter.
The fact is that House is a big kid. Pritchard's a small guy. In the playoffs, there's not that space. And when when you start to get teams that are playing tough defense, Pritchard's heaving up 30 footers. And they'll.
All I'm saying though, Scotty, is like, I think Joe is saying this, as an eighth player, you can live with that, right? You're going to play really 7 guys mostly in the playoffs. And if your eighth guy is Pritchard playing again 5, 10 minutes, 12 minutes in a game, will he get picked? That's all you want.
We can do a lot worse. We can do a lot worse, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you like Pritchard playing the point?
But Scotty, we knew this
He
team was going to
doesn't
be.
play the point anymore, though, Scotty. He doesn't.
We knew
They've taken that away from him.
We knew this team was going to be top heavy, anyways, to begin with, right? We knew that when we made those trades that we did, we knew we were going to be a very top heavy team.
Yeah, I mean, he's really a guy in the playoffs if it's going to be foul problems. If someone one of the guards have foul trouble, he's going to be in. But I mean, he's not an instant offensive guy because he's too small. You know what I mean? Look, I think that Brad Stevens gave him that contract to move him.
I agree. I agree. At that point, I agree with you, Scott.
It's
But I
possible
don't
he'll
know.
get moved.
He's kind of
It's
evolved a
possible,
little bit.
but I don't think he's getting traded at this trade deadline. I would be shocked if he was getting traded at this trade deadline. Shocked.
I agree, but the contract does make it,
They remember
you know,
though, this year,
to match.
this year does not, there's all sorts of contract ramifications. It's gonna be very hard to trade him this year. He's got a poison pill contract. They have to take back more than what goes out. It's very hard to trade him this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that
Good,
trade
but-
exception that was established with Grant Williams going to Dallas is what they've got to play with.
I thought that's all. I thought they were supposed to use that. There was a deadline a week ago or something.
They got
No?
that all
No.
year. They got that until
Even
July.
even to the off season, they
July.
have.
So they have something in their pocket they can still use, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
What can you
$6.2
explain?
million.
Can you explain that to me? What is it that they have?
They got in the Grant Williams deal, as Joe said, you get a trade exception for the excess amount that's going out in something like that. They did a sign-in trade with Grant. So they ended up with 6.2 million freebie, meaning they could trade a second round pick conditional for a player who has a contract under $6.2 million, Tim. They don't have to trade it. They don't have to send salary out. They can just take it on, right?
They can just take it on.
You
Yes.
can take
So
it
they-
on.
so they can trade a draft pick? They can do
They could
anything.
trade a draft pick for
Or a
someone.
first round pick. They can trade their first round pick too.
They could trade a
But that
second
would-
round pick.
But for someone that high, you wouldn't get him for 6.2 million, right? Does that mean
There's
the
a lot
person
of
we pick up?
lot of guys
does
in
that
this
mean-
league making that.
Does that mean the person we pick up would have to be making 6.2 million or under?
Yes,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah.
And you can't
Now,
combine it.
So what kind of talent level is at that level? I mean,
Andre Drummond, right? Andre Drummond makes $3.5 million. If we want a third big, you could trade a second round pick to Chicago or 2 second round picks, and Andre Drummond could be your
we could
third.
fit him in.
Defense and rebounding. You just can't shoot free throws.
Yeah, but they're
So
not going
this
to
is-
do that
this
because
is-
of the whole.
so-
Isaiah
so this-
Stewart is the name I keep reading in about a dozen places.
Yeah,
It's almost
except
crazy. Yeah,
it's
couldn't do it.
all
They
screwed
wouldn't give
though,
him up
Joe,
though, would
because-
they?
No,
So
they,
you can get a decent player at that level.
yes.
Yes. Oh, yes. You can get a solid player, solid veteran player.
Yeah. Look, the key with the playoffs right now, and we can already see it, it's going to be the Rob Williams factor. If every night is Porzingis going to be able to play, you know, and it really feels at this point where, you know, they have the best record in basketball, is that they need to really, the management of Porzingis has to begin now.
Well, it looks like they're gonna stop playing him back to back. He played back to backs earlier in the
Yeah.
season, and now it looks like they're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, already Porzingis has played a lot more games than Marcus and Rob Williams put together. That's for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, did you watch that Grizzlies ending? What a great game!
Oh, Ja Morant.
The Pelicans and Grizzlies, and after the game when Moran hit the shot, good old Marcus was right there in his civilian clothes, congratulating him. Marcus is
I
all
thought Marcus was going to be coming back this week.
yeah. How good does that trade look?
Very good.
Marcus plays.
I'll stay silent. I'll stay silent.
What do you mean? You said it was a good trade. What are you talking
It
about?
is a good trade. I know.
You'll
But I
say
love
that.
Marcus. I
He
love me some
misses
Marcus.
his Marcus.
I know. Are there any
Terry-
games this season where you missed them?
Terry O'Reilly. I just love the guy. What can I say?
Russ, is there any games this season where you're like, oh man, we would have won this game if Marcus had played?
No.
No, because you're getting pretty much
Porzingis.
you're getting what
Better defense.
would've gotten- you're getting what you would have gotten from Marcus with Holiday, right?
Yeah.
Holiday is a better Marcus.
Better
He's just-
player. He's a better Marcus. He's like an under control Marcus with more
That's
skill.
right.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to the Boston Bruins. What a frustrating season, because every game they're in, you have to give it. Every game they're competitive. They may not win every game. They've only lost 5 in regulation, but they're literally the 5 losses. Were there any of them where they weren't close games? I mean, have they been in almost every game?
The
I don't
trouble
remember.
this year is last year, the third period was their strong point. They came on strong in third periods last year. This year, it's their Achilles heel. They've been losing games in the third, allowing they're usually going in ahead by a goal or two and end up with the tie and losing overtime.
What is Timmy? What's their identity? Who is this team right now? What kind? What
Goaltending, goaltending.
Yeah. Yeah. And so,
The
but
goaltending.
are they a good defensive team?
Our goal, they're a good defensive team. Yeah. Our goalies will keep us in it. And if we can grab a few goals, we'll win.
Russ, the offense clearly needs help. I mean,
Yeah.
Guys like apparently Lizelle is not gonna. Lizelle doesn't like to pass the puck, and apparently they're telling him that there are actually other guys on the ice with the same uniform and that they play with him.
It feels like what they really need more than anything else is a surprise, a number one center to replace Bergeron, right? Like Zaka seems to be a really good number 2 center. Coyle's a really good number 3 center. Patra is, an up and coming center. If you had a number 1 center right now, this team would feel different, I think.
Can you go get you can't afford it, right? With the hard cap. I don't think you can.
Not this year. Not this year.
You probably have to trade a goalie.
Who's a guy on the team that you could trade right now that would free up enough space to get a top guy?
Couture? I mean, I don't know how valuable he is. Probably not enough. Maybe
Not
someone trying to dump
money wise.
You'd want to trade someone like DeBrusque, maybe.
Yeah.
DeBrusque could be the best candidate.
Yeah, he's a good candidate.
So
his contract is up this year too.
He's playing well, but he's not putting it in the net.
So I think Sweeney, he blew his load last year and his hands are tied, right?
Yeah. I mean, and that the decision he'll have to make is, does he try to go get a number 1 center with like DeBrusque and Lysell, right? And another prospect? Would you do that? Timmy, would you trade DeBrusque, Lysell, who's your best prospect still, and another draft pick? And another draft pick.
For number 1 center, yes.
Yeah.
We don't know what Lascelles. We don't know. We have no idea what Lascelles going to do.
Even if he's a rental, because DeBrusque's technically a rental too.
I don't know what
how about the young defenseman? Would you trade DeBrusque and Lowry?
I'm holding on to Lowry, man. Those guys are a bar of gold. They're a bar of gold. I would say if they have a top defenseman in the pipeline, I don't know what they have down in Providence. Pretty solid on D right now. I wouldn't mess with the D crowd. But if we have some great prospect down there,
Lowry's
I think it's Lowry,
the big prospect down there.
But I mean, there might be another guy.
How about the goaltender? What is his name? Boosie or something?
Yeah,
he might.
I thought he's a big.
He looked good up here in preseason, but that means nothing.
Yeah, but they know what they're
playing against other guys like that.
But the AHL is pretty high quality hockey. They know what they're seeing.
So are we in a good spot, right? Are we happy with the Bruins are December 21st?
Sure. 5 losses.
Fun.
I know there's a lot of ties.
Way better than I thought they'd.
But hey, what's the benefit of that? We all get to watch those overtimes, which is
right.
So much fun.
Look,
I mean, every time I look at my phone, alert. Going to overtime. I just run to the TV and turn it on.
Guys, we should be so happy and grateful that our winter teams are as good as they are. I mean, just think about how good these two teams are. We can bitch and moan about the Celtics and we bitch and moan about the Bruins third periods, and you look at it and they're at the top of their.
Wait till the summer comes.
I couldn't believe when I checked both their records and both of them had 5 losses. That was probably last week at some point. I was like, what? That's it. And you know what? I'll take those. I love watching those overtime games. Maybe I don't like how we get to them, but they are fun to watch.
How about hockey doing the last 10 minutes of the third period 3-on-3?
I say have overtime, sudden death, and have it as 3-on-3. No more shootout. Just play hockey till it's done.
But
I do love that. I love that 3-on-3, man.
That's what I
It's
want.
like
Sudden
it's
death,
like down this
it's
end,
going to
down that
end
end.
within 10 minutes anyways.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, the Rangers played a great overtime against us, boy. They just had the puck the whole
They
time.
controlled it for every second, it seemed.
They weren't afraid to leave the zone. That's what I noticed. They weren't afraid to take it out. And you know what happens when you take it out of the zone? You can reload. You have the puck. You can get 2 fresh legs on there. You get tired so easily out there. So if you're gassed a little bit out there on 3-on-3, you're in a lot of trouble.
Russ, you don't think it would be exciting the last 10 minutes of the NHL? Every NHL
I don't
game
know. I mean,
3-on-3?
sure, but that's really fluky. You're going to end
You're
up with
changing the game.
7 games. I like Joe's idea. Just play sudden death, play 3-on-3, and you get 7 minutes of it. That would be awesome.
Well, it was a great rule that they changed. Obviously, it started in the minor leagues, so they tried it out. And
Yeah, I don't think that third period thing, Scott. That's like really, really messing with hockey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but the 3-on-3 is so it's must watch, like you said.
No matter what you do,
Oh, it's
you're
fun.
turn the TV on.
Rush up and down the ice and good chances. Everyone gets good chances.
Oh,
Give the NHL give them a ton of credit for doing that.
But also, you can see the puck being shot because there's not a crowd anymore. I mean, it's visually so attractive.
Yeah.
All right, before we go to Major League Baseball, is it Theo Epstein? All of a sudden, they got it right. They're the adults in the room, so they've tightened up. This is where analytics is very good. They've tightened up the rules that they created a year ago, not dramatically. So because they saw that the games were increasing time-wise by 7 minutes after a few months. So now it's going to be 18 seconds instead of 20 seconds when a runner's on. You're going to have you can only have 4 visits instead of 5. And then the thing they analyzed was you cannot have a pitcher warm up an inning and then take him out.
Yeah, when they
feels
they bring a pinch hitter in, then you pull them out. Because that started happening.
No. So they have him warm up and then they bring in a relief pitcher.
Yeah, well, it was because the opposing managers were putting in a pinch hitter, that would match up against that pitcher. And so then you would pull the pitcher and put someone else in and waste our time, with another guy warming up. And that it started happening at the end of the managers started doing it. And it happened 3 times in the World Series. And they said, well, let's put the kibosh on that right now. And
totally
that's what
smells like Theo Epstein, right?
What can you guys explain this to me? I didn't understand the baseline thing.
Oh, so they're just increasing the lines, so that they can stay that the runners are allowed to run into without being outside the lines, basically.
Is that between first and second, or second and third, or
just home plate and first base?
Yeah.
Home plate and first base, so you can run. So they have the dirt, the grass on either side, and that dirt path going down. You get the line, right?
Yeah.
They're increasing the space of that dirt.
Remember, there's a box now, Tim. There's a box now that there's like a lane that they have to run within right now, and they're just eradicating the lane. It's basically saying they can run from one edge of the grass to the other,
giving them an ability to avoid being tagged by the pitcher, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's an offensive move.
Well, all the moves are to increase offense. Pitching is being not prioritized anymore.
Wait,
now
so
offense is being prioritized.
They're not increasing the space of that dirt, but they weren't allowed to run in that dirt before. They had to stay right on the right line.
No, you would get busted for running out of the baseline if you went outside the box.
Yeah. So A-Rod may have been safe when he hit Arroyo's glove, right? He may have been able to avoid him, right? Is that
well, if he didn't try to hit it out of his glove.
But I'm just so impressed that Major League Baseball has finally woken up in our lifetime and actually each year are coming up and tightening the rules. I couldn't be more impressed by that. And is there anybody that anyone knows that does not like the whole time?
Could they tweak extra innings a little bit more?
You don't like the Ghost Runner?
The Ghost Runner's
They,
worked
they
out
put
really
they,
well.
they put a guy on second now, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
worked out really well. I mean, I think
Is
that's
there anything else they could do?
no, I think that's you don't see 18 inning games anymore, and that was the whole reason for it is to avoid.
Yeah, now you see 11, 12 tops.
Yeah, no, that was it was good. They're doing everything right. You know, now all of a sudden, Major League Baseball just has to make sure that Yamamoto signs with the Red Sox. They let Henry buy the Red Sox, right? They did that. That was a fixed job. So let's do it this time. All right, boys. Well, that's our
Well,
show.
didn't Henry already own
He owned the
Florida?
Marlins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody want to know the Red Sox? All right, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank the fellas. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune again next Thursday night at 7 o'clock for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night and Merry Christmas to all.
And to all a good night.